What's up everyone, it's Rusa. I hope everyone is doing well. Today my topic or rant is going to be why I personally am so open about my gear SARM usage. Why, I think it's a big deal to, bring this issue to front. And overall, just my methodology behind being open. So I see nowadays, it's more cool to be open. It's more badass to be open, unreal. Like, that's really not what I was going for in the beginning. I will say, that is what I was going for in the beginning. Then my kind of thoughts kind of changed as, things moved along. And, I really analyzed what was going on here. Personally, androgen use, big issue that no one really talks about and sweeps under the rug. You see all these pro athletes, you see all these actors, you see all these Instagram models, you see all these people who influence hundreds, millions of people, and they don't bring up anything about androgen usage because of the taboo nature about it. Now, this is both a blessing and a curse in my opinion, because with the age of the internet, you see in the old school days in bodybuilding, which is why, a lot of older people, they don't really understand why people are getting into androgens much earlier. That's because of the internet. And back in the day, they only had magazines, which means that these corporations controlled the information that went to the masses. Whereas nowadays, you have bodybuilding forums where anyone, you don't even have to see, my ugly, bloated face. Anyone can be a coach, guru, whatever. And you have no idea what they look like. He could be freaking SpongeBob SquarePants, for all I know, giving you advice on your trend cycle. Like, that is the internet revolution, the technology revolution in general, in a lot of different areas besides bodybuilding. So, to me, the truth is already out there. Everyone knows. No one goes to these bodybuilders and like, that's because he's taking that protein powder that he looks like that. Everyone knows about gear usage nowadays, and I think more people, like, why beat around the bush at this point is my point. And number two, you have false information out there, not based on science whatsoever, or even theoretical science, bro science. You have insane stacking of compounds going on, crazy high dosages that are so much more detrimental to your health than like even moderate dosages. And you can see it in the blood work. I don't even have to just guess. You can definitely know that doing grams is a lot worse and a lot more damage than 500 milligrams. Think about it with anything. But you have that going on. You have all these people who have these false expectations put in their mind. That was the real thing that pissed me off back in the day, was when I figured it all out when I was like 15 or 14. That, because I used to spend, so I worked when I turned age 16, I got a job as a banquet server and I did wedding. I wanted to always build a cool physique. I looked up to all these guys that I thought were natural back then. As I dug into researching more and more, realized they weren't natural at all, and that all the stuff I was buying, because I was spending almost my whole paycheck on supplements, which is stupid, but back then, what did I have to spend my money on besides supplements and food anyways? So I was spending hundreds of dollars on essentially sawdust. So when I finally decided to research into SARMs, I personally knew I looked natty, but I did not want to lie. I did not want to contribute to these false expectations of what you can gain in a certain period of time naturally. My genetics are not good. I'm not stupid, When it comes to putting on muscle size, I'm not gifted in that department. I can put on strength really quickly. I can gain and lose weight rapidly. When it comes on to putting actual lean tissue, it took me a long time to accumulate. I'm 225 now, I'm probably 14, 13% body fat. You know, I'm 22 now, started lifting when I was 14 in my basement. So yeah, it's been a while for me to get the size, someone with better genetics. You know, some natural freak with better genetics, like my best friend is a natural freak and was 235, 240, veins everywhere. You know, I've always grown up around a natural freak. I'm not delusional about my genetics. You know, I personally like the bodybuilding chemistry. I always found supplements fascinating, but when I decided to venture over into the, I'd say the gray side, not the complete dark side like I am nowadays, but into the gray side, because people are still in my DM box saying, bro, is Storm's natty still? Am I still natty? No, you're not natty, dude. You've permanently lost your natty card in my mind. So, yeah, you're not natty. Now, I can't tell you how many people tell me, I need to stop moving my hands, I get too flustered. How many people think that they're natty with SARMs? You're not. Synthetic androgen, okay? Check. You're not natural. So when I decided to venture over, I decided to be truthful and document everything. Because personally, I wanted to see exactly what I had to do to get to this level. And personally, even though I still have all the videos, and on the channel you could see exactly how many cycles, what the cycles were. That was my goal, was to be that YouTuber. There's no other YouTuber who done it the way I was trying to do it, which was to be as scientific and analytical as possible at the age I was. You know, I was getting my blood test. I was obviously utilizing AIs, PCT, you know, trying to be on top of everything. But I wanted to always be open and honest. And I didn't want to lie. You know, I can't stand fake natties, because not only do they put false expectations, trick stupid people, but they also, you know, they don't pay credit where credit is due. You know, I have no problem saying that my gains are synthetic. Like, I cannot get to this level naturally, okay? Like, it's like, if I have a testosterone level of this, I can hold a certain amount of lean body mass. When I go back to PCT and my natural baseline, you can really only hold so much lean body mass at your natural baseline. That's why they say get to your quote-unquote natural baseline, although when you account for muscle maturity and muscle density, like, when does your natural limit really hit versus your lean body mass limit hit? That's just my opinion. But you cannot get above that point. That's why you see pro bodybuilders, unless they're utilizing a bunch of hyperplasia compounds like GH and stuff over a long period of time, then they have permanent muscle cells. But a lot of them that just blast gear and have an insane genetic response to gear, like we'll use Kevin Levrone for instance, you know, he goes back to his natural baseline when he comes off, and he's way above his natural baseline when he's on. So, like, pay credit where credit is due. You can't get to these insane physiques natty unless you're a genetic freak. And if you're a genetic freak and natural, congratulations, you're like 1 in a million. You're not the common person who is going to think he can do that. Okay? I know there's genetic natural freaks out there, but that's not everyone. Most people have average or below average genetics. And basically, if they actually want to look like some of these people, you really have to start playing with the chemistry and the diet a lot harder than these natural genetic freaks. So that was pretty much why I decided to be honest and open. And I get nothing but flack. I get nothing but spew toxicity at me because I'm just completely transparent and honest. And I have videos on side effects. All my videos are on side effects. You know, this is bad, like, you have to be really careful with this, you know, always have all these protocols on hand, always get your blood work done. You know, I get toxicity thrown at me when all these fake natties get praised, worshipped because they think they're natural, or, you know, they don't talk about it. No one wants to pay credit where credit is due, and no one wants to talk about the dirty, the dark side of bodybuilding. When in reality, I personally find it the most fascinating how people have completely manipulated their genetics, you know, insanely. You know, I can't be fake, and the fakeness needs to stop. And these supplements, it has to do with pushing these supplements because, you know, besides Enhanced Athlete, who's going to sponsor someone's stupid open? I see Redcon 1 is, you know, swinging over to EA's side, and Redcon 1 is sponsoring opened Enhanced Athletes, which I appreciate. You know, people appreciate honesty. You know, I still use protein powder every once in a while, but it doesn't account for all my freakish, you know, progress. If you look through my Instagram timeline, just scroll to the bottom and then scroll to the top, and you'll see the freakish progress. It doesn't account for that at all. The protein is not what caused it. It's just a supplement. So if I need to supplement more protein into my diet, and either I can't, you know, my appetite's gone or something like that, then yeah, add the protein in. But all these bullshit muscle building supplements, and even the muscle builder, the natural testosterone boosters, those, man, they blow me away how much BS claims are on those and how they can get away with putting those BS claims with all those BS studies. It just, that all needs to stop, and that's why I personally do what I do, even though I receive all the flack I receive. You know, I never considered myself to have this godlike physique. All I am is documenting exactly what I did to make my progress and all the side effects and repercussions I suffered along the way. And I'm glad that people support that, and I hope my message reaches more people, because I personally don't glorify this like, hey, yo, I'm juiced up, I'm cool, like baller. No. That's not the way I've ever done my channel. My channel's always been super analytical, and my channel has always been about just documenting progress and just showing my honest daily life. Like, I just try to be the realest person possible in a sea of fakeness and narcissism. And I'm not saying I'm narcissistic. Trust me, I know. But like, in the fitness industry, I'm not even touching the top of the levels. So that's why I decided to be open and honest, and it's put a giant strain on my relationships, my family. Imagine going to a giant family Thanksgiving dinner and everyone watches your videos and is like, and you have to talk to all of them. But personally, you wouldn't know how many D1 athletes I know. No one else knows they're unnatural. How many professional athletes have reached out to me. No one knows they're natural. How many big Instagrammers and big YouTubers have Smurf accounts and reached out to me. And it's just like, it's so funny, the fakeness going on. I really can't say much. I don't want to beef with people and call them out. But I'm just here to put a stop to it. And I think as long as I can continue to develop my physique to a somewhat competitive level, then my statement will be heard, and I appreciate everyone. Because this is honestly what I love to do, and my goal, and I'm still trying. And yeah, that's why I decided to be honest, and that's some of the bullshit reasons why this shit with the fakeness needs to stop, and the truth needs to come out. Because it's already there. Like, steroids have been around. I don't know why they're still taboo. Marijuana's not taboo anymore. Someone's got to be the pioneers to stop it. I'm not saying it's healthy. I'm just saying it's there and you can't ignore it. It's becoming a giant issue. And you have more people than ever experimenting with synthetic androgens. So there definitely needs to be more educational content. Whether YouTube wants to take down my shit or not, they got to come up with someone who's going to put some educational content out there that people are actually going to listen to. So that's my rant, and yeah, I'm super passionate about this issue, because this was my life as a child. Like, not as a child, as a teenager. And I personally wish I had my older self to watch my videos and to watch my opinions that I do now. And they want to censor all that. So follow me on Instagram at RussoLifts. Appreciate everyone who still follows me, and I'll see you in my next one.